Yeah, and I think that's where the kind of people where we're seeing a lot of people who haven't necessarily had their, like fortunately haven't had their hands dirty in mental illness,
Yeah,
are not like they're reaching out and going, why?
yeah,
He had everything going for him. How did I not see this coming?
right,
How did I not know about
right,
this? I watched the webinars, I read the books, I'm following every single thing that I'm being told about trying to make sure that people are getting the right help.
right.
What do you do when somebody is getting the right help? And he was.
Yes, I believe
So
that.
yeah, he was. And he was seeing therapists, and he was talking out loud to people, me being one of them. He sought out people who had a lot, mental health issues,
Mhm.
so that there was some commiseration there. But very few of us could have, certainly the minute, that one singular moment that
Yeah.
you make the decision, it's not like anyone is going to be there to stop them,
and
right?
and and they don't want someone there to stop them. So
Right.
this is where things can get tricky, even as mental health professionals. And I've walked a lot of people through this land of suicidality, whether and at different levels of risk.
Hmm.
And people will say, mental health professionals sometimes will feel confident with someone signing a contract, a suicide contract, and saying, "Oh, we're good. They signed a contract. They're not going to complete suicide. We're good." This is why places like CAMH don't really uh, believe in suicide contracts, because people will hold on to that. Clinicians will hold on to that
Hmm.
and think, "Oh, okay, we're good," and then someone goes off and kills themselves, and they don't understand why. Well, they promised. They're not going to tell you if they're going to do it. They don't want you to reach out, and that's what people don't understand. They won't necessarily reach out for you to act so that you can stop them. If they want to complete it, they'll go ahead and do that
And
on
there's
their
no
own.
way to really see when they. I had another friend who did an amazing article for Clio magazine, an online magazine, who wrote about this and started. He's someone who's also struggled with mental illness. You can Google him, Ryan Wagman. He did a great article on this, and he said that you don't know that you're on the bottom rung until you're there. And
Mm-hmm.
I think that actually speaks a lot to this, is that,
Right.
he that's what happens, and he's there, and he's, almost imperatively, this is about my brother as well, almost imperatively you're by yourself and you're alone when you
Yes.
die. And that isn't necessarily the case when it comes to other deadly diseases. People are surrounded
Absolutely.
by their family,
Right.
and this makes it a huge amount different, because it's a choice, and whether it's a rational or an
Right.
irrational
Right.
choice,
Right.
this is where people are getting are really frustrated and frankly angry. And I think it's important that, Dr. Ferguson, that you actually, and you've been saying this, and I don't want to monopolize the conversation, but I do have a lot of
Hmm.
thoughts on this, is that, what do you say to people who are spending all of their time trying to rationalize this in some way?
I say stop doing that because you can't. You just can't. Again, being in this business for a long time, working with people, and I'm not trying to like. I'd like us to have a real conversation about this, but that in no way means that the you know not suicide, not today. That whole big campaign that CAMH has been doing, prevention, monitoring, ensuring that people who are considering it don't consider it and don't follow through. I think all of that is great, and I think we should continue to do that because I do think that we do save lives. But I do think that inevitably there will be people that will continue to take their own lives, regardless of the interventions.